Hey everyone, welcome to the Steele Wars podcast. I am Steele Saunders and I do love Star Wars. Welcome back to the episode. We are also live streaming. So, hey to everyone in the live chat, and we will be taking some live chat questions as we have got a returning guest. He's been on the pod many times, and we've sat down with his fam for a full interview episode. But he's back with his special report from the Galactic Starcruiser, from the Rogue Rebels. It's my boy. It's your boy. It's Sal Perales, boy. How you doing, mate?
I went to space.
You did go to space. It is just insane. How have you been since you went to space? How is life empty now, Sal?
No, it's not empty because I carry the space with me.
Is that code for you stole something off the ship? All right, Rogue Rebels, Star Wars podcast, one of the best, super fun, always a good little hype fest with Sal and the family. And as we've been talking about on the Hyper Chats, some Star Wars fan media, some content creators or influencers. You an influencer, Sal?
I think I might have said that next to the name.
What do you mean?
I was like, oh, but like, you know, when the invite comes for these kinds of things, you know, that's what it was. It was like an influencer. And I was like, we got an Instagram, but like, I don't think we influence people. We just dress up and have fun with Star Wars.
Well, I do think you'll influence people, but there's like the modern, like you can influence people, but then there's an influencer, and that's almost a lifestyle in itself. And
it's so weird.
For the audio listeners, Sal just is about to give a coupon code for the fizzy drink he's drinking. Perales fan for 20% off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you've got questions, whack them in the live chat and we will get them. But let's just go to that. How, like, I up front, like, you know, people get invited, people you know get to invited to go on the Starcruiser, and it's sort of a near once in a lifetime sort of event. We'll touch on that later if it will be for you or not. But obviously it's like to get the call or get the word, get the invite, influencer or not. You're winning a little mini lottery that day. How did you get contacted and what was your reaction?
I mean, yeah, it's when those kinds of things happen, especially when it's with us. Every time it happens, because like, you know, every time something like this happens, like, hey, do you want to come to? Are you gonna have a Rebel screening? Or, you know what I mean? Like we've been through this before.
Dude, don't mix this up. Don't muddle this with Rebel screening. All right.
No, look, this every time something like that happens, we're like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. This is going to be so amazing. Oh my God. Like, I can't believe they thought of us. Like, why us? Like, we're just people with a costume.
Hold there. How many Rebel screenings do you think you went?
I mean, like from every season opening and every season finale, probably. What's that, 8?
All right. Well, I hope you weren't. Oh, this is a once in a life. This is an 18 in a lifetime opportunity.
I said it every time. I still say it, and I still say like, hey man, I don't want this one to be the one I miss, man. Like, hey, they might not invite us to the Resistance screening. You know, like every time we got those invites, we were like sure to like try to go and enjoy the experience. And when this thing came, it was another one of those like, okay, like we can't say no, right? Like we have to figure out how to make it happen. Like, you know, And we did, you know. So of course we jumped on the opportunity and took the ride.
But did you get, was it a phone call, an email, a fax? How did you get invited?
I guess we'll go with the email.
I don't feel like this is
well, if you want details on the invite.
No. I'm just like, you're just on your email, like,
yeah,
like this Entertainment Earth's having a sale. Okay, yeah, delete whatever, and then it's like,
yeah,
hey, how about you go to space? Like, do you know what I mean? To me, if I got how did you want to go to space email, I'd remember it, Sal. I haven't had like 87 once in a lifetime opportunities emailed to me like some other people have. So our lifestyles might be a little bit different.
Yeah, I got the email and I like immediately texted my wife and I said, hey, like, I think we just got invited to go on the Starcruiser. And she's like, no, you idiot. That can't be real. Which is what she said the last 17 times. Like, she said that when we got invited to Batuu. She said that when we got invited to, a lot of the red carpet things that we've done. We're always like, is this real? Like, is this happening? So we started making plans to go to the Starcruiser.
Now, there's 4 in your family.
Yeah.
Now, Lizzie, your daughter, who's just the best from the Star Wars Geek Girl podcast. She's studying how to maybe be a chef on the Starcruiser, which is pretty sick. She couldn't make it.
Right.
So I guess you felt guilty the whole time you were on the trip, that or not so much?
I'm gonna say yes. That was the idea. Like, we tried to figure out, but when you're in college, everything counts and you can't miss a class, and then you have to start it over or drop it, and an extra semester messes with your whole, I don't know. Yeah, more chefs. But I think it kind of, like, I don't want to say it like worked out well for her, but like, we were talking about it and we were talking to some of the chefs and they were like, oh, awesome. Like, that'll be so cool. Like, wow, she's studying so hard. Like, maybe she could put us down as a reference when she finishes her school. Like, so she looked good in front of the chef by being, so focused. But we definitely missed her on the trip. And of course we wanted her to be with us.
Because I was listening to your podcast, which was super fun. And one of the chefs that you were interviewing said, oh yeah, she should come down. And I was sort of like, that needed a follow-up question. Like, how do we organize? Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I just hope you went to bat to her. But okay,
cool. Give me your phone number, Chef Bobby.
Yeah, give us a coupon at least. So you get this email. The 4 of you are invited. 4 family members. One of them can't make it. I feel like I'm like family.
Okay.
And like, I don't know. I'm just wondering if you like just like explore the opportunities to like,
right.
How about Uncle Steele?
Right. Who could we dress up like Lizzie?
Yeah, I could come in as like, I could go as Lizzie. I could go as me, and we're like, we're bros sort of thing. I'm just interested how defined the invite was that made you not try to parlay your old mate Steele into the little bunk bed with Axel.
Okay, so here's the even more interesting part: is the invite was only for 3 people. So we instantly not only were like, we have to go, but we were also like, who's not going? So for a while,
not going. Like, Steele's not going. That's who's not going.
Yeah, the Steele was the first one out. then it was me, and I was like, well, maybe I'll stay and you go with the kids.
What?
And then it turned into like, oh, well, maybe my wife will stay and I'll go with the kids. And then it turned into Lizzie couldn't make it, and like, I guess we'll just go.
Phew. That's a real shame.
Yeah,
that's a real shame. Just as you're on the phone going, that's a real shame as you're packing your bag, putting your lightsaber in there.
Like, I am so sorry, child. It feels really bad. I know it's all going to work out for you wonderfully. You know, like, we'll take lots of pictures. Yeah, it sucks that she didn't get to go. But, you know, college is important. And, you know, we raised a kid who's smart enough to realize that and make smart moves. Meanwhile, grown people are like, okay, let's try to drop everything and run.
Yeah, there's like,
you know,
you everyone listening is like, oh yeah, I'd leave college for that. There's not a person in this chat that isn't like, I would.
It's an expensive college, and I think in the end, we said this before, I think in the end she's going to have the last laugh, because I think she's like, her whole goal is to work there. And it's funny because she's at the CIA. Before you get confused, it's the Culinary Institute of America.
Thank you.
And it's like it is like the chef school if you don't want to go to France and go to the Cordon Bleu. So every time like they're doing classes and they talk.
How does it rate to Mick University?
She's talking like with her teachers. They all talk about their futures. What are you going to do? Well, I want to work at a 5-star. I want to do this. I'm going to go to France and open up a blah, 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 blah. She's like, I want to work at the Starcruiser. And the teachers are like Disney, like what, the Star Wars hotel? What, you want to work at Disney World? And first of all, well, I guess we'll get to that when we talk about being on the Starcruiser, but food is amazing. So
yeah, you seem very. That was your takeaway. It seemed. Pardon the pun. Maybe you could have taken away the food.
It's like, so the things that I expected to be the thing to wow me are not the things that really wowed me.
Okay, what did you expect? What were you just like? Oh yeah. So like, just like everybody else, I looked at the thing and I'm like, oof, like, look at that price tag, man. Like, okay, like you get to go and you get to like be in Star Wars and you get to like hide Chewie and there's a show and you're like doing stuff all the time. And it sounds really fun and really cool. But at the same time, you know how frugal I am. You know, I'm like, I mean, I like Star Wars, but do I really want to spend that much money? And do I really want to do this thing? But having been through it now, well, I said this on the podcast, like you can't put that, like I can't tell you what it was like you have to experience it. Like you can't write in any paper or no commercial is going to tell you what this was like. I've heard also, that about heroin as well.
No young Obi-Wan jokes here. It was really, really, yeah. I'm a 90s kid. We know what's up. Like the crew, the journey with other people, like watching my kid go out and like have so much fun. And like my kid's not a kid. My kid, Axel's 15 now. He's Ezra when he disappears. You know what I mean? Like he's not.
No, that's what it was like for me because I didn't get to see him for a year and a half because of COVID. And then the next time I saw him, I was like, it was like Ezra. Like it seemed like 5 years later, he's like up to me.
Yeah. He's like almost Steele height. He's taller than me already. But like seeing him go and experience, and like this is a thing that could, I mean, I don't know. Like I could imagine a teenager just be like, "Oh, this is kiddie stuff." You know, like it could have very well gone that way. But this dude was having a blast. He was making he was hanging out with all kinds of. He made a whole bunch of influencer friends. He was like playing sabacc with little kids, and then he was like running around drinking blue milk with older kids. So like he had a blast, and just
He made out with a Greedo.
we don't talk about that. What happens on the Star Cruiser stays on the Star Cruiser. But he had a blast. My wife had a blast. I had a blast, and yeah, I don't know.
So when you get there, like there's that big sort of concrete sort of foyer looking thing.
Yeah.
Like what happens when? How soon do you get enveloped into the Star Wars universe?
So you go to the concrete thing. You do your check-in. They check in your luggage. They give you your little wristband thingy. Oh, there's one. Let me find it. Here it is. Hassa! Oh, got it. Okay. They give you your little like. Nope, there it is.
Oh yeah.
Your little like wristband, and this like opens your door, and in theory you can like connect it to your credit card, so you can just like boop, buy your drinks or whatever you want. But then you go into
sorry, I just have to jump in. I just have to
go.
Yeah, are the drinks like the alcoholic drinks you got to pay? Like, what's the like when you're in there? What are you paying for?
The only thing you're paying for is alcoholic drinks or like special non-alcoholic drinks. So there's like alcoholic drinks, and then there's like, like you don't pay for blue. Like there's basically blue and green milk on tap. But if you wanted, like there was a few like little mixed drinks that were non-alcoholic that you could get, but I was like, no, dude, drink some soda. We're not paying for a drink with no alcohol.
Well,
but yeah,
on your podcast at the end, Liz, your wife, sort of like did like, well, if you paid for the hotel, like it sort of like coming to terms with the price, and those blue milks in Disney World or Disneyland, they're like $8 a pop.
Right.
So if you slam a couple of them a day, you could save up to like $80
easily. Easily.
That's what I'd be doing. I'd be like, if this is all you can eat, well, I'm on my cost justification tour, and I'm going to be slamming down 3 green milks right now.
And it's so easy because breakfast and lunch is buffet. Like,
I could make a profit by the end of the couple of days.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it 2 nights?
It's 2 nights. Yeah, the third day is basically checkout.
Oh, save that vibe check.
All
right, we've got a couple of questions. So we'll hit these before I continue my line of questioning, just to let the chat know. Now, this is a very interesting question from Stephen Meyer. Very interesting. So answer freely, Sal. I'm not sure what he's got in mind, but he would like to know, Sal, what was the soundproofing like in the cabins?
That is an interesting question. And the answer is the same as every other damn hotel, because it's not, the walls are thin. You can hear when people are running around in the hall, you can hear it. Just like every other hotel.
Would that be helpful if there was ever like an invasion or something?
Right. There is like a crazy little escape room or something hidden in the room. So like, I don't know if there's a fire. Like there's a little escape room in the room. I don't know how to describe it, and it doesn't seem like a thing that hotels have for some reason, but this one has it.
Wow.
So we were like messing around in that thing. Don't ask me why. But the soundproofing question, as specific as it is the same as every other hotel. You can hear people walking down the hallway.
Well, I'm not sure if this is Stephen's intention or not, but I am very interested. Very interested. At the moment, it's flooded with influencers and YouTubers and stuff. But when are they going to make way for the, when are the YouTubes going to make way for the red tubes? Like I'm just picturing a shoot in there. It's going to have to happen. No
I
comment,
refuse
Sal?
to engage. No comment.
You wait. I reckon in the online porn industry, the race is on. Who can get the first clip?
Okay.
Now, Stephen wants to know what's the soundproofing like.
Not good enough for that.
Jim Grote would like to know were there any fellow passengers who just didn't seem into the whole experience, and did that detract from your own experience? I would imagine that, you know, everyone on the maiden voyage is pretty hepped up.
It was that, but it was also like a weird, like because it was like media / influencers. The thing, it didn't like really impact my experience, but the thing that I kept seeing was just everybody with their like phone out and camera, like everybody was just like doing this the whole time. It didn't detract from my experience too much, but it was the thing that I noticed everybody was doing. I imagine that that's probably not going to be everybody's voyage experience.
Yeah, I watched the Ordinary Adventures one. Like they did like 3 parts, and you know, Peter Serretta and Ketra, and it was epic. Like I like their enthusiasm, and like it was just a good. They did it. It was good to follow them around on the path, and I'm not really worried about spoilers or anything because it just doesn't seem
right
in my future. What is that scratching? What are you doing there, Sal?
Sorry.
It sounds like you're tuning into an AM radio station.
Just plugging stuff into my little extra battery here.
Cease and desist, buddy. But when people were like, there was like the action was taking place, like a little vignette. There was like some dudes that were just standing up in front of seated passengers with their camera, and it's like, chill out, Scorsese. Just take a seat and film from there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There was definitely a lot of that. And like the show stuff, like there's like the big like main room, and most of the like story show stuff happens there. So we were sort of in a place where like we could see this really good, but like sometimes we would lose some of the stuff over here. But it also seemed like while all of that was happening, like different stuff was happening over here. So like in theory, if I'm over here and I can see this really good, somebody else who's further away who can't see like that far away, there's something happening right by them that they feel close like this. So they got to see something closer that I was like, wait, I can't see. So it seems like they planned that out pretty well.
And from their video, like if people were just in another part of the ship, they saw a total other. Like I heard there was kids that freed Chewbacca, and like there was just like people sort of got these really unique little experiences away from everyone. Hey, were you on Peter Serretta's trip, or were you on a different one?
I don't know.
So it's that big that you like. If you knew someone, like I assume you like saw some other fans that you'd like.
Yeah.
Did you see them often?
Yeah, fairly often.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like not super big. I feel like I saw most of the people, if not everybody, and obviously gravitated towards the people I knew. Like I saw Amy Ratcliffe and her husband Aaron. I saw like I saw a few people, like Matt Martin was here and there, so we were catching up with him often. But yeah, like you would see some of the people, and sort of you could also, I think that might have added to the experience as well. Like having people there that we kind of knew made it like, so, hey, I can like go and run over here and hang out with them for a little bit while Axel runs off and does his own thing.
Yeah, and just someone to tell stuff like, hey, I saw this and come check this out. This is sick, sort of thing.
Yeah. But even like within the family, like we all sort of had our own, like Axel was hanging out with the musicians. So he did all that kind of side stuff. And we were like, oh, we have a thing over here. So, like, even in a family, like, you could be like, oh, I have to go do this thing. Like, we're gonna go do this thing at 9:15. I have to help with this. And Axel was like, oh no, 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 we're gonna go write a song over here and do blah blah blah. So, like, I don't know, that's kind of cool. Even on you can choose a lot of different ways and gravitate towards the people you want to gravitate towards. And I kept saying that I wanted to take the kids when they were little, but it's kind of double edged because then you got to like stick with them the whole time. But having Axel be like a 15-year-old, he could go off and do his own thing and have fun, and then come back and be like, "Oh, it was so awesome! I did this and I did that, and this was really cool." And we can do our own thing and kind of come back and regroup later.
And how was the line dancing?
I missed the line dancing by 5 minutes. I was so pissed. Liz wanted to do the line dancing, and I was like, "Hold the line dancing for us." And it was literally like 10 minutes, and I was like, "How did everybody learn to dance so fast?"
Hey, just going on from the musicians, Jim Grote's got a question that follows on. How did the Rhodian musician look up close? Because in the handful of videos, she looked pretty expressive and real.
The Rhodian Awani was really well done. Obviously, it's like a mask, but there's a thing where when she's talking, like, they can articulate the little Rhodian mouth. So the mouth is like when she's like, oh, like.
And how does she talk? Is it like a voice? Is she pressing a button? Is it her? Or
I mean, it's a voice, so I imagine there's some sort of recording thing. I don't know how it works. Maybe like it has to be a pre-recording, right? Not just a voice filter.
I'd imagine it would be.
That's what I think it is. That's how most of the Disney stuff works. Like, that's how the stormtroopers at Batuu work. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But it was really, really well done. She was holding entire conversations, but you kind of like Galaxy's Edge, like when you interact with the characters, like, before COVID, you're kind of like there and you talk to them and they talk back, and you can sort of like walk around with them and like, which is so different from the normal, like, hey, stand in line, take a picture, say hi, next. Stand in line, take a picture, say hi, next. Santa Claus in A Christmas Story. But the costume looks really well done. All of the costumes in the experience were really well done up close. And I kind of applaud the ability of these people. Like, I've been to Comic-Cons. I know what's up. Like, my wife dressed up like a Twi'lek and would do San Diego Comic-Con. So I get being in makeup and Leku for 8 to 10 hours. And there's good commitment. They stayed in character. They seemed really interactive, expressive, and everything looked good.
Hey, do you know,
as a
like,
costumer, I give it thumbs up.
Excellent. Do you know, like, what sort of shifts they're working? Like, are they, like, is it the one, like the first order officer guy? Is it the same dude every cruise? Is he like, is there another? Has he got an alternate? Like, do you have any idea how any of that works?
I mean, I imagine they gotta have days off, so maybe but while we're there, it's one person.
Yeah,
so
of course. Yeah.
The captain, the first order out, like, it's there for those 3 days, 2.5 days, whatever you want to call it. So maybe they maybe they're on for 3 days, and then the next crew gets the next 3 days. You know what I mean?
Like, do you know how the logistics is? It like, do they have a 3-day cruise and then the next day they start another 3-day cruise, or like they have a day? Like, do you know any of that sort of stuff? I
don't know any of the logistics, but
we need to send someone there to find out. That's the thing.
That's true. When Lizzie gets the job, I'll let you know how it goes. But yeah, like, even crew was there, like, with it, like, some of the people who checked us in were some of the people who were there later with us, like, and that becomes kind of a cool thing. Like, by the end, our servers know our name, and like, we know their whole backstory, which is fun and interesting.
So, I hope you did this. This is what I'd do.
Okay.
I'd set the alarm for about 3 a.m, or just stay up and then just walk around in the middle of the night? Like what would be going on? Like, would there be any characters out at that? Like, what's the vibe at? Did you do a late night mission? Come on, Sal.
I walked around late and not a whole lot, but the little bar stays open till 1, I think. The what is it called? The Sublight Lounge, which is like where the sabacc tables are. It's like a little bar. So I don't know like how late the characters stayed out. I know some were out later than others. And then like I really liked, there's basically one little area called the Climate Replicator or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's down by the lightsaber training pods. And it was like, the explanation is like, oh, like this replicates the climate on Batuu. That way, you know, like if it's cold here, put on a jacket before you go to Batuu or whatever. Because it's basically you're outside in Florida, right?
Yeah, it's a skylight or something. That room does look. That room does look very beautiful. Like it does look very sort of like Star Trek in the future environmental area. But I love the lady from Disney or whatever going, it replicates the weather on Batuu like that same day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what an amazing bit of technology you've got here.
It's wonderful, right? Yeah.
Hey, so is it
also like cool?
But in that replica thing, is there a roof? Or if it rains, if it rains on Naboo, will it replicate that in the area? Or
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think it's open.
Okay.
So yeah.
Were there people in there utilizing their death sticks at all?
No, not that I saw anyway. I like that place, and I would go like in the morning. I would get up and I would go over. Like I always have my little like when I'm in a hotel or something. I tend to like get up and like have my coffee and go on the balcony and like look out the window. So that became my place to do that.
Nice.
And I just liked how like nice and quiet it was. You know, because generally there wasn't too many people there. Like a couple would, you know, sometimes I went there and there was like one person. But it was a really, really cool little spot, and the people from the like lightsaber training would pop in through there. So it was just a little bit more of a spiritual feel, which added to my Star Wars experience.
Yeah.
And there was some that was like my fun little like place that I would go hang out. And it was nice.
So when you went into the little bar thing, and then maybe you came out and you saw Liz, how did you describe it to her? What was it like in there? Did you say
the lights were low?
I was just as excited, sir. Mm-hmm.
Dude, did you like, if I would be honestly, wouldn't be able to get enough references. Just, I'd be standing out in front of that bar and just be going up to people and go, the lights were low, like just to everyone. That would be my character.
I wish I could remember the lines. I wish I had studied that because I would have just been able to do that on all the videos.
Maybe next time.
Dude, I will tell you this. The first dinner is the evening with Gaia. So I'm looking on the schedule. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like we're gonna have dinner and she's gonna come and that's gonna be and I'm thinking of the commercial because I'm like, oh, like that's this part, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that'll be fun, and I will eat and enjoy myself. And like, dude, that thing was so fun, and the food was so delicious that then it ended up being that was one of the most enjoyable scheduled events of the thing. It was really good. It was really fun.
How was the lightsaber training? Did you do that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Like, how was the...
Yeah.
Like, because they made a big thing out of that, like that saber that sort of lit up. Like, is that the one that Rey uses, or is that just not getting used yet? Or
so that's the one that like Rey came out and did the fight with. But when you're in lightsaber training, you just have like a little training kind of thing. That's basically stuff we've seen probably before.
Yeah.
But the actual like room and the way it works and stuff, it's pretty cool. It was a lot of fun, and it also sort of, there's like a story element to it as well.
Do you have that
that ends
headset
up being
on,
really
or is
fun.
it just?
No headset. You use your eyes like mortal beings.
'Cause I did that.
But it was really cool.
I did that like X Lab, like the trials of Tatooine, and you actually, you have the headset on, and the lightsaber, and when they shoot it at you, the lightsaber like vibrates. Like, it was quite an incredible experience.
Same thing.
Okay, sick.
And there's actually there's multiple not like levels, but so kind of it happens in rows. So like the people in the front have the lightsabers, and then eventually they add in the second and third people have these like shields, which like you probably saw in the merchandising. So the guy in the front, or whoever's in front, is like deflecting, and if they miss one, the person in the back is like catching the laser blast with the shield.
And so like, what are they deflecting? Like, what's coming at you?
I mean, it's light. It's just a weird light thing. But like you said, the lightsaber or the shield will like vibrate or make sound or whatever, cha-ching, when you catch, or when you like actually hit the bolt.
Okay, so when you see when the laser comes at you, is it a beam or a pellet or like?
Basically like a beam.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's okay. And then it's okay. Then you hit the saber, and then it like causes a reaction. Okay, cool.
Right.
Brent wants to know: did everyone have a scheduled meal at the same time, and was everyone in the same place for dinner as at once, or was it split?
2 dinners, 5:30 and 8 o'clock. I picked the early dinner because I was like, why would I not eat as soon as I can? Who chooses that? And then I was going to dinner, and one of the people I knew on the ship was like, oh, I see you got early grandpa seating. And then an hour later, I was like, look at you all unfed. I feel great. Yeah.
All right, Jim Groot wants to know, how are the views into space, both on the bridge and in the rooms? Hard to tell in the videos, but curious how it was in person. Was it a convincing effect? I would like to add, were you on the bridge when the starship went into hyperspace?
Yes. Yes. It's basically as good as the Smuggler's Run. It's like the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've done the Millennium Falcon ride, the same idea. You're on the thing, and it's like a little vid screen, but it's kind of, the image looks really good, high, I don't know, resolution or whatever you want to say. And in the rooms is just as good as out, but out, they're much up higher and further away, unless you're like on the bridge, where they're really, really huge and in front of you. In fact, the whole bridge training thing was kind of like a leveled up Smuggler's Run. Like, there are different stations for different things. And as you go through it, you sort of get to go, you kind of rotate through everything. So,
yeah, because
when you ride the Falcon, you're, when you ride the Falcon, you're like pilot, or you're gunner, or you're this. And this one, you're like, okay, you're the pilot. And then, okay, now go to the gunner station. Okay, now go to the shield. Okay, now to go to engine. Like, so you sort of get to do everything, which is good.
What what path did you take? Because there's sort of like 4 sort of modes, like First Order, Jedi, Smuggler, something else.
I mean, I think probably just Resistance. Like, we went and we did all the Resistance things. I think I did have a really cool Jedi moment, but it wasn't like I don't think I explored that path enough. I should have talked to those people more. Like, I didn't quite pick up on this, but a friend of mine did. And they were like, this is just a video game. Talk to the NPCs who you want to go to, and then you'll sort of get, keep talking to these people, and then they'll tell you, then you'll get to do the thing. So we definitely focused on Resistance stuff. Axel ended up doing the Smuggler stuff because he was hanging out with the Smuggler people so much. So he ended up doing a few different things than we did. but mostly it was like all the resistance kind of stuff for us.
And so, what sort of missions were you going on? What were you up to?
So like, you know, we would go and like there are things where you go and you hack stuff to like change the record so the First Order can't find things. We were going to try to like help them smuggle supplies to the resistance. They gave us access to like you can get access to different parts of the ship to unlock like a few different things. So they would be like, oh, well, like we'll give your little, I'm going to hack into your thing. So take this and you can now you can open the door to engineering. Go to engineering and you need to help blah, 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 blah. And so then like your thing will open that door now. So yeah, there's like a lot of cool different things and yeah, just like fun little side missions and it also connects to Batuu. So when you do the things on the ship, when you get to Batuu, they're like, hey, make sure you do this, blah, blah, blah. You need to help us, blah, blah, blah. Go do this and talk to this person. Like we had a mission where we had to go to Oga's to meet a contact. So we like luckily had a reservation for Oga's and everything and like walked in and did our little thing. But we were eating for free on the ship and we didn't want to eat at Oga's and pay money. So we were just like, oh, okay, we just came here to do the contact thing and now we're going back. So they were like, oh, that's it? Like, we were kind of like, well, we've been to Oga's. Like,
but don't you get like a free, like Ronto wrap or something? Isn't like the other place you get a voucher or something?
I think so, but we didn't know that. And so we were like, let's do all our Batuu missions and get back in time for lunch. So we played, and not only that, like the food on the ship was so good that we didn't want to eat at Disney World. We were like, we had Ronto wrap. They're fine, they're good, but I want to go back on the ship.
What? I can't remember. I haven't been there for so long. What was it? The bantha rib? There was something that was like someone's ribs.
Kadu ribs.
Oh, they were good. Yeah, love them.
Yeah, that is good stuff.
Miss them. How? So when you flew down to Batuu, how was that? So you're in
all
like
of those little
shipping container or something, and it's like.
Yeah, maybe the back of a truck. I'm not sure, but it's pretty cool. It's like you're in a thing, you're in the like escape pod or whatever, the shuttle that goes down, and they have like they're playing the thing like in the pilot. You can hear the pilot. All right, we are to go going down to Batuu. In fact, let's turn into the radio station so you can hear like DJ Rex on the way down to Batuu because they're tuning into the local Batuu frequencies or whatever. So it is really cool.
Can you go back up to the ship and then back again? Like, can you just like ferry back and forth?
Yeah.
Or?
Shuttles go like basically like the second day is your Batuu day, and it starts at 9 and it ends at 4. So you got like what's that like 6-7 hours to mess around wherever you want, and you could leave. In theory, you could leave Galaxy's Edge and just go to do Tower of Terror or something if you wanted to.
You actually
we didn't do that.
Oh wait, is Galaxy's
Edge? It's in Hollywood Studios, right?
Oh yeah, that's where Tower of Terror is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They still have the big AT-AT at the Star Tours there.
I think so, but that's like out. Like we didn't go outside of Batuu. Yeah, and I know we probably should have been like, let's take advantage. I wanted to take advantage of the hotel. I just wanted to be back at the hotel, and but they were like. These things, they're like, hey, go down and you can use this and like just get on the ride. So it's like a fast pass or whatever they call it now. So we rode the rides, we did our little missions, and we walked around, and then we were like, all right, let's go back to the ship. But you know what?
I thought you would have had like resistance cargo pants with just all like Danishes from the ship, and just. Like a bottle of blue milk that you brought down with you, and that's what I'd do. I'd be stocking up on Batuu supplies or no Starship supplies and getting them through into.
You know me too
customs. Well. That's what you did, yeah. I do that for sure.
You know me and my son too well.
we're of the same cloth. That's the thing.
I
don't mind a bit of thriftiness myself.
Yeah, not at all. But the Batuu East vibe, way different than the Batuu West vibe.
Oh, in what way?
Like, I don't know. Like once we got out there and into like the land and the people, like it wasn't. I don't. I don't know. It was Florida, I guess. It was not like I've been to Batuu a few times, and I've been to the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, and like generally the vibes really cool. People are all people there were not as friendly as they are over here.
Got you. That's interesting. It's a
Very
credit to our West Coast Batuians.
Yeah. Hopefully they get the shuttle to come out over here, but whatever.
That
We
would be
rode the
helpful.
ride.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
There's a good one here that where did this one go?
You
This is a
lost
good
it.
one. Brent would like to know. I'm not sure if is there music on there or something?
Yeah. Like there's the music show. There's a few music shows, but then
Oh no,
also,
I
like,
just meant I could hear some weird feedback or something.
oh
I think it's me.
no,
I
not
don't
here.
know. I think maybe I'm turned up too loud or something. I feel like I'm getting feedback a little. But
I'll bring you down here.
okay, Brent would like to know, which is a great question. What from the cruise is there that we have not seen from the advertising? Any hidden secrets? Like, was there anything that you were just like, you just had no idea was happening and you were just overjoyed back? I always say with my trip to Batuu, like the baby sarlacc, it just brought me such joy and wonder. Like, was there anything like that maybe
There was a lot of stuff like that. And I guess like the first day there's a ship tour. So like, and it happens before like the first like event. So kind of have to make sure you get on it because you don't get to do it later. And they sort of show you all those little things. And there was like there was a hyperspace compass. Like before we had, Nava computers. The old explorers would use these hyperspace guys, and it just looks really cool and really rad. And then like there's a lot of these little things that are put into the walls and stuff like that. Hey, this is the bottle of Chandrillan whiskey that they like used to christen the ship, but it didn't break, and now it's good luck. So all the spacers rub it before they go play Sabak or whatever. So there's a lot of
I
cool
can't
things
hear you
like
all of a
that.
sudden.
Cannot.
I don't know why I can't hear. Whoa, what's going on here? Sorry, everyone. Sal.
Can you hear me?
Sal?
I'm here. Hello, hello, hello. Nope, nope, nope.
Sorry, everyone. I'm not sure. Can you still hear me if you're My computer's gone very haywire here. Is it? We can hear Sal. We can hear both of you. This happened to me the other day. It's when I share the screen. The screen sharing's become
problematic.
Wait there, buddy. All
Yeah,
right,
I can hear you.
Hear Sal. Sal, can.
Oh, now I can't hear you. And he's back. Are we back?
Wait there. I'm just going to jump out for a sec.
Okay. Did it work? Hey, everybody, welcome to Sal Wars. From what I hear, Florida Walt Disney fans are odd, very odd, not in a good way. I don't even know if it was Disney fans. I think it was just like people. But yeah, like once we got off the ship, it was just a lot of people. So what were we talking about? Like secret little things. I think there are like lots of cool little Easter eggs around the spot. But even cooler than that, there's like experiences that you kind of see. Like I think we ended up doing this one really, really cool thing with the lightsaber instructors. And it sort of just seems like it happened like at random. And like I don't think I heard anybody else saying anything about anything like that, or I haven't heard anybody say anything since. So I wonder if it was like just something that we just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and we got to experience that. But it was really, really cool. And I guess I'm in charge now. Let's see what's in the chat.
Oh my God.
Star Wars. Lucasfilm has heard enough.
Unbelievable. You know what's happening when the other day I tried to share a screen.
You sound way more echoey.
I'm more echoey? Okay, good to know. Wait there, I'll fix that. Appreciate the heads up. That is my bugbears. I should be perfect once upon a time. Sorry about that, everyone. Thank you, Sam, for that feedback. Here's one just to get us back on track. Jim Groot would know, was Gaia, is it Gaia? Gaia really singing, or was she lip syncing? And that's the Twilight.
I'm pretty sure she was really singing, and all the musicians, those are some talented performers. Like, I'm pretty sure that was live. If they were lip syncing, they were doing a really good job of it. But I think that there was live singing, and damn good live singing at that.
Yeah, I'd hope it's live, because if it is lip sunk, I don't know, it just seems, I don't know, a bit goofy or something. But if she's actually singing, if there's actually like, hey, I'm in space, but I'm also very talented.
Yeah,
like
that's what I took from it.
Yeah. Hey, so there's bit where, you know, I guess spoilers, I guess. There is a lightsaber battle at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Is everyone on the cruise there to witness that? How does that work?
Yeah.
How do you know to be there?
Okay. So this is actually kind of funny. Remember you were talking how like when you first get on the ship, that concrete thing, and then you check in. Basically from there, you sort of like get into a shuttle that like takes you to the ship, right? So like that's where like the space experience starts, right?
Uh-huh.
But like before you get on the shuttle, they show you a little video. And the little video is like, you know, it's like when you hear on the intercom, blah, 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 the lights will blink like this, and that will mean like that you have to go, like there is a story event happening and you should go to your blah, 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 blah. Like, so that's how they're like, hey, something's up. Like we should all, like, that's when everybody goes and you can see like something's going to happen. Right.
So do they actually say story event?
In the like briefing, they do, but when you're on the ship, it'll just be like, oh, everybody to your stations, or like, you know, it's something.
Got you.
Like they don't call it that, but the little video that you watch before you get on the hotel tells you when this happens, do this. But then the video says, when the lights blink like this and say it's an emergency, this is a real emergency, get out. And I thought that was hilarious because I was like, oh, that's true. Like, you should know the difference between a real emergency and like, let's go watch people fight in first order troopers.
Yeah, you're like burning, and you're like, this is really immersive.
Yeah, like so immersive. This is so rad.
And so with the lightsaber bit, I know there was a little bit made of. She's got that lightsaber, which, like in the video, I didn't find that impressive. Like they made such a big thing of this lightsaber that would sort of light up, and I don't know, like just seeing it in the video, I was sort of just like, whatever. But was it like, was that impressive to you, or was that just like whatevs?
I mean, yeah, it's better than anything I've ever seen before,
Okay.
and it was there and it's happening. Also, they control the lighting, so everything looks really good. The choreo was good. The performers were well done. Like, as far as a live, like as a member of Saber Guild, like, yeah, that's I want our shows to look like that.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
So Sal directs these shows. Like I've seen him many times at Comic-Con, like at the end of the what's it called? What's that thing called?
The Masquerade.
The Masquerade. I was going to say the Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras afterwards in the disco room. Oh, that after Masquerade dance party, that is the best. Just dancing.
Oh
with,
yeah,
like all these characters and stuff, and you're just like, woo!
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about me. But so you know, you're like an aficionado of like the choreography, and you know, you've performed it, you've directed it. So like it was like of a standard above what you guys do, feel.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was a good lightsaber fight. The costumes looked good. The people moved well. It's something that I was like, oh no, that's nice. That's well done. And it's live, which like you, as a person who does that kind of thing, like you got to do that on tap every day. You know what I mean? Like slip ups happen, man, but like live performances like that, that's admirable, you know? So
Yeah.
like the performance was good. Yeah. I haven't seen one where they dropped the lightsaber. I mean, it could happen, but
yeah. Well, I'm glad it didn't happen in the first one because
yeah, right.
Far fewer video cameras upcoming. It did feel like with you know, they're all like the Imperial guys like giving his speech and people are booing and stuff. It felt like a very like an amazingly produced like independent local wrestling show. Like because like the stage, like the production was amazing, but then you've just got like about 50 or 60 people or whatever going boo, yay. But it definitely like they were super into it. And I know when I went to that secret cinema in London, and it was like, you know, something that they studied for this and for Batuu was like, you know, they had this immersive night which was just one of the best experiences ever. And there's this bit where it's like the end of Star Wars and they blow up the Death Star, and then Luke, like a full-size X-Wing comes over your head, it lands, Luke Skywalker gets out, and Han and Leia run up, and we're the crowd, and I'm like going, yes, Rebel! Like I was like feeling it. So like, I guess that's the same thing. Like if you're watching it on YouTube, you're like, yeah, that's all right, but it's a bit hokey. But when you're in it and you're living it, it's like you're willing to take that leap forward into like screaming at Luke Skywalker that you love him.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's totally different being in it than it is just to watch a video clip on YouTube. I mean, that's that concert, you know, it's just like a concert or just like anything else like that. You know, like a Comic-Con panel.
I know Josh asked about this somewhere, but you know, people are into it, and there are alcoholic beverages on board. And is there any like, was there any security for when things get out of control? Like, were there any like anything that you could visually see where it was like, I don't know, it just is there any little things like that?
No, I see what you're saying. No, not at all. I mean, in theory, it's the crew, right? The crew has to be the extra security. Like there's kind of crew there always. You know, there's a few, and they're like every time you walk by, they all have excellent posture. and they're all playing the role to a T, and they're like, "Good journey, safe travels," and all that. May the stars light your way, which is super fun. But yeah, like visibly, no, visibly nothing that looks so like, oh, there's a guy in a baseball cap with an earpiece. There's a security guy right there. No, none of that.
But
Not that I noticed anyway.
Much like I can't wait for like YouPorn or whatever to get its upload. I do want to report. I want like a local newspaper report of someone getting kicked out of there. Like, definitely. Right. I want video. I want there to be like it's in Florida. Florida's the home of like crazy incidents. So get it going. Get it going. Nick Smith, quick question: is the shuttle to Batuu air conditioned?
I feel like yes. In fact, like once you leave Batuu, it also feels a little bit baller. Like you get off the little shuttle, and like we had these little pins. I don't know where Axel put his, but like we had these little pins that they gave us from the ship, right? Because that way, when you put it on and then you're in Batuu, they're like, "Oh, you're from that fancy ship that just came in orbit." Like, because then they treat you a little bit differently, right?
And by differently, do you mean better?
We'll say that. But when you get back to the little area to go back to the hotel, like the people over there are like, "Oh, like, would you like cold water? Like, here we have cold water. Would you like a cold towel?" Because you've just been walking around Florida heat for like, a couple hours. So that was kind of fun and kind of cute. So yeah, I think the shuttle is air conditioned.
Excellent.
But I don't remember exactly.
On the audience, how intense did the audience get into it? Joel Davis would like to know.
I think your wrestling analogy is probably the best one. I think it was just like that, boo, boo, yeah! Like, that's pretty much what it was.
What was it like? Like, I'm not even sure if you noticed, but at some points, like when they go into lights like hyperspace, there's theme music. Like, did you notice that?
It wasn't like all the time, but like during the show moments and stuff, like the music would get piped in to enhance the show. But there's also just a lot of like down low, like onboard music. And it wasn't like everywhere, but like if you go into the lounge, there's like a whole soundtrack that plays in the lounge. And it was so funny that I was talking to some friends that were like kind of worked on some of the stuff, and one of the songs was like it's in another language because it's in Hadith or whatever it is, right? But the song is basically like "My Heart Will Go On," but it's a Star Wars version, and they're singing in Hadith, and it's a male and a female, and they're like, "Oh, like if you come up to the bartender and you tell them, oh, this is our anniversary or something, like they play this song for you, and like that's the romantic, like, like interpretation, So I thought like things like that, they put so much thought into that kind of stuff that there's almost like a little bit of everything for the journey. But it definitely has its own sound and its own songs, and I want the soundtrack because some of the songs were hot fire.
They didn't sell a record there or anything?
I'm trying to get that. There's a dude that just rocks up with a Halleck set, and he like starts playing acoustic with Gaia and stuff, and like he's this rad Zabrak musician, and I want his solo project to hurry up and get produced because I need it.
Huh. Hey, are people that are listening or you, Sal, do you hear some weird feedback when I talk?
No, I didn't.
Okay, hopefully it doesn't pipe up on the recording. But let us know on youtube.com. That would be fantastic. The Liz said on your podcast that there's a TV in there with like normal television. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Like
The
the show that should be screening is What Are You Doing? Like just a show called Turn This Off. Go do something. You're in space.
right. So basically, like there's a screen, but the home screen or whatever it is sort of like a star chart. So, and it took me forever. It took me 2 days to figure this out. I didn't figure this out till we left. But I was like, oh, it tells us where we are. Like, because if you watched in the beginning, when you first get there, it's like, oh, at Chandrila, because you're just leaving. And then on the second day, it's like, oh, you're at Batuu. Like, and then it's like, oh, we're going into hyperspace. You're going back and forth, you know. And then like at the last day, it's at Chandrila again, because that's where you get dropped off, you know. But on the bottom, it's like, oh, you can go to Disney Plus, or you can watch TV, or you can connect your phone and watch whatever you want to watch. So it's like a smart TV, but like the main screen is just like a little star chart. I don't think anybody watched TV there except Liz. She took some downtime for some good Dr. Quinn medicine woman. Oh, now I can't hear you, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I can.
All right. Well, that issue's back. So wait there.
Weird.
Maybe that will get rid of it. Can you hear me now, Sal?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I think he's still there. He's so annoying. Right there.
Nope. Now you're back.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that thing. It's very, very iffy. Very iffy. But someone did have a question that he tried to get before. Joel Davis likes to know how was the Rey and Kylo moment?
It was really cool. Like, the story moments in general are really cool, but I think I like the story moments that you're like the smaller moments are not up on the big thing. Like you're there in the little room talking to the captain, or like I really like personally, I really enjoyed like those, like when you're like, okay, how do we help you, Chewbacca, or whatever it was. Like those were really, really, really fun and engaging. While the Kylo and Rey moment is super dope, and we were like cheering and all watching it happen, the other moments are so much more personal that like I had a lot more fun, or just like a much stronger connection to some of the smaller moments, personally. But they were all really, really cool. Everything is well done. Like I said, the choreography is fun. They had good performers. The show builds to that moment. And I don't want to say like I'm kind of like, I try not to talk about the story spoilers, even though it's like the story's fun and the story's cool, but also it's just like your normal Star Wars story. Hey, good guys and bad guys are trying to do something. And then, but at the same time, like experiencing that stuff fresh added to my experience so much that I don't want to take that away from anybody. Because when I experienced it, it kind of like most of the stuff kind of blew me away. You know, so I just feel like I don't want to like rain on anybody's parade and be like, oh, this is the part where that thing happens. I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like if I was like could foresee me going on it, I would have like I haven't been on the Resistance. What's it called?
Rise
of the Resistance.
Rise of the Resistance.
and I'd never watch. Like, I've never watched any video of it. Like, people ride through, and even on Peter Soretta's one, when they landed on Batuu, they had footage of them on there, and I was like, ah, like fast forward, like, because I was like, yeah, I don't want to know what happens, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hame is trying to help me out. Still, is your laptop mic on at the same time as your outboard mic? I don't know if I can do that through. I think I'd have to just turn off the. Wait here, Sal. You answer a question here. Brent would like to know. In Batuu, you have your cell phone and apps to do certain things and missions. Is this the same on the cruise? I'm going to log out and then back in and see if it helps. Sal, answer this pressing question, please, sir.
Definitely yes, and also on the cruise, like the app is so much more important. Like the app has your schedule, the app has your check-in time, and it also does like different missions that connects to your little thing that will unlock stuff. So like in Batuu, where your cell phone and apps are kind of like extra little bonus things that you can do for fun, on the cruise, I don't want to say like it's essential, but it adds a lot more to that experience than it does in Batuu. But yeah, like we were definitely having a lot of fun with the app. And yeah, like I said, it kind of all connects to your stuff and really adds a lot of different things. Like you'll do little missions or something on the app, and then they'll send you, hey, I'm just giving you access to the cargo room or something. Go in here and hack the panel, like, and then you can open a new part of the ship and go and do something down there that you weren't able to do. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a lot more integral to the cruise experience than it is on Batuu, for sure. But yeah, like even when like Batuu was first opening, a lot of the times, like when we went, me and the kids were just running around doing all the missions. And just being like, whenever the first order, like, oh, how are you? And we would be like, no first order missions. We did the same thing on the ship. It was a good time.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I thought you can because the feedback's there. So that must mean it's happening. So I don't know what's going on here. It's out of control. It's getting... Mandalorian Legion says, did you hear that Star Wars released a Twitter account for a droid story a couple of hours ago? I did see that. I'm waiting for at Ryan Johnson Trilogy to get registered. Thank you. Now, Sal.
Yeah.
Day 3.
Mm-hmm.
Time to go. What time of the day are they kicking you out of there, mate?
Like 10.
10?
Yeah. We got up early. We went and had breakfast. We did all our stuff, and we said our goodbyes, and we got out.
But were you exhausted? I feel like this, like the cost of sleep is too great. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like this is like. It's too precious an hour to be wasted just like resting. But you know, towards the end of Revenge of the Sith, when Yoda's like clinging onto that ledge and his nails are scraping.
Mm-hmm.
Was that you having to leave?
Pretty much. Yeah, that was us. That was Axel. Yeah, but we did the whole, like, we did the breakfast, and we like sat on, we looked at all the symbols on the floor, and we like said bye-bye. I went to the little Jedi meditation garden again and said goodbye to the climate replicator or whatever it is.
Josh would like to know, did you actually get a good night's sleep?
Yeah, I did. And I actually like jumped in the bunk for a little while just because it was fun. Because Axel's taller than me. Axel slept in the bunk and he was fine every time. So I know people were worried about the size of those, but they fit my grown ass child for 2 nights and he was fine.
Like one of the I don't know, some lady that was there reviewing it, I'm not sure where she was from, but she posted this photo of her 2 kids like just bawling their eyes out that they were leaving, which
Not fun.
like I sort of questioned posting that photo, but I do agree with them crying. Like, do you know what I mean? If Harry didn't cry at the end, I'd be like, dude, like, come on, this was pretty. You should be bawling. Like, you've cried when we've left a sandpit before. But how was it? And Sam Stubble would like to know this as well. How was how was the vibe of evolving back into not just like Earthling, but Florida space?
That was the other thing. Like, people were like, man, I don't know, like, there's no windows, and how do you? But when I got to Batuu and I saw Florida, I was like, you know what, dude, I'm good with space. So yeah, I wasn't like, but it was the same thing. Like, I mean, for us, we kind of just went straight to the airport. It wasn't really that big of a. We didn't see a whole lot of Florida. We just kind of like got into the ship and got back out. But I don't. If you have listen to the Rogue Rebels podcast, episode 117, because that's where we talk all about this.
Done it.
When we left the day of, one of the crew came over and she was like, hey, like, she was talking to Axel and she was like, are you okay? You good? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, what's that about? And he was like, oh, like last night I was really sad because it was like the last night, and I came and I sat down here and I was like crying a little bit, and then like she came and it was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And I got some blue milk and I felt a little bit better, and then I was hanging out with people and having fun because he wanted to stay up, and he did stay up all night and he did have fun. But like, yeah, he was you can listen to him tell the story, but he was if your kid crying is an indication of job well done, then job well done.
Normally it's the opposite.
Yeah.
A couple of quick ones. Home would like to know, so every kid needs a cell phone to get the full experience? Is that how that works?
I mean, in theory, yeah. Axel had his, but also like, I think if you have like real little kids, you probably just bring them with you on your thing. Okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to go to the resistance thing? Like, because I feel like if your kids are old enough for a cell phone, they're kind of old enough to be, or maybe not, if they're old enough to be running around on their own, then they're old enough to have their own cell phone. You know what I mean? So like with our kid, he went off and did his own thing, and he had his own cell phone, and he was doing the app on his own stuff. But if your kid's like little and doesn't even have a cell phone, they're probably just sticking with you the whole time anyway.
They got a lot of chargers sitting around there, or what? Feels like everyone would be going, you got a cord? You got a plug? I need the app.
Yeah, right. The little things you just put your phone on and it charges magically. Star Wars.
So I was like so happy that you got to go. I was very overjoyed. I was sort of like, if anyone if anyone should go, I don't know if it's like should or whatever, but like, you guys really put a lot into Star Wars fandom and with such positive results. But I was very curious, because this was when I was talking to Corey and Aubrey about this, I'm like, the proof, like there's only one, the only true great review, like everyone could say it's the best one, is if someone goes for free and then wants to pay money to go again. Like that's like, you can't get a better review than that, I feel like. And you guys, you're planning on not making it a once in a lifetime event, but you're down to go again. So that's like, it's definitely like not for everyone. Like the value would vary, but for your fandom and your interests and stuff, like the fact that you are keen to like put it down and go again, it's pretty tremendous.
Yeah, definitely. But like we want to go with Lizzie, and we want to take, you know what I mean? Like, so we definitely want to do it again with the whole
Cousin
family.
Steele?
And we want to do it. We want to do it with the whole family.
With Cousin
And
Steele?
we want to like, yeah, man, we should plan a like group thing. Like you and Harry over here, and then we'll have a room and we'll meet up in the thing. We'll be like, "What's up, y'all? Like, let's go unlock the cargo bay or whatever."
You're already trying to get away from it. Very upsetting.
It'll be a good time.
Oh, does Nick's
But yeah,
does they have room service?
the bar is open till 1 and serves food, and then sort of like in the atrium, there's kind of like always like snacks around. So yeah, like food's kind of always available. I don't know if there's room service. I didn't ask, but they did bring us an iron at one point.
Really?
Yeah, we wanted an iron, and I forgot what we called it. We called it something. Or like they called it something. I was like, "Hey, do you guys have an iron?" And they were like, "A thermal blah 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 blah," or something like that. And then they brought us an iron. So even that was fun. Actually,
Well,
in the
they're in the last
bathroom. Oh yeah, that's true. The cannon. There's like a hair dryer, and it's like thermal blower or something like that. Weird. And I was like, cute. You guys.
Joel Davis has got a super chat going on, so thanks, mate. He says, I still think it says a lot that the sequel era is what is the parks and cruise. Kids taking their pictures with Ray is long-term investment there. You can't go past Ray. She's the best.
Fair. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like the vibe is so total. Like Batuu is. Like, it's not that it's OG trilogy specific, but it feels so much more like the Mos Eisley that we're familiar with and that kind of vibe. Whereas this definitely feels more like Canto Bighty or, what's his name? Dryden Voss's yacht, The First Light or whatever. It feels it's like such a different side of Star Wars that we've seen a couple of times, but doesn't really draw on that same nostalgia in the way that Batuu does. So I really liked it. I liked being on the other side. I liked the difference. And I think that like for Star Wars to continue to grow, you can't just keep drawing on the same old things over and over.
Yeah. Now, how do you, I don't know, like people like, I guess because the prize are quite, just like angry at the whole project, sort of. And I don't know if I've got a different point of view because I'm from out of America and we're just used to not doing things. Like, do you know what I mean? Like going to Disneyland is such a once in a lifetime opportunity in itself. But I don't know. How do you what are your thoughts on all that? And just that, like, when you go on to like the social media and the website, it's such an elite like thing that like it's so heavily promoted. Like, hey everyone, come to this thing that you probably can't come to. Like, and that's what all we're talking about. Like, I don't know. Right. Like, what do you think? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, even Disneyland is like that for some people. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, the price is high. Not everybody can afford that. That's a fact. There's nothing that's going to change that. But, like, it's not. You can come in, babe. Yeah, it's just, that's what it is. But also, it's like, it seems like it's so comparable to the same things anyway. It's like it's any luxury. Like if you just booked yourself a hotel at Disney World, food at those fancy Disney Epcot restaurants, and all that stuff, like it would add up to the same thing, Anyway, so it's not like it's expensive for sure, but it's also not like out of the realm of the same thing you would be paying for if you did the same, like a similar thing. If you took a 3-day vacation at Disney World eating at the restaurants every night, staying at the fancy hotel at the Grand Floridian or whatever, you still would probably be paying the same amount. Yeah, Liz like worked it out and everything, and she was like, "We're saving money."
Yeah,
Conwee's here.
with all that blue milk that you smuggled down to the planet. Of course,
yeah, Axel made us a profit on blue milk.
Yeah, I go back and forth. Like my initial thing was like, well, I'm not going, and it's fine. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not, and then I'm like, maybe it is not that right to market so heavily to this thing that so few people can enjoy. Like I haven't decided, but I do feel like that people outside of America aren't as worked up about it. Because just the actual act of going to Disneyland is great. Hey Liz, how you doing? I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
There you go.
Hey Liz.
Okay. Hi, how you doing?
How you doing? Have you got? We're talking about your trip, and maybe you can share a little, something that is a magic moment for you that you just hold in your heart of like such a crazy experience.
The food holds such a magic moment for me. It's so delicious. It's a freaking experience. Seriously.
Like the presentation too, like everything.
I did enjoy with your interviews and stuff finding that they had like a little backstories, and like it was almost like each meal should come with a little Topps trading card that had the backstory on it or something.
Definitely.
Yeah, but so there was this dessert, right? And it was supposed to, at least our waitress told us it was the best dessert from her land. And so she sold it to us. She was so good. The staff is amazing. It's super, super nice, but not like fake nice, like really nice, And so she was telling us about this dessert and how it's the best thing ever. And then they just sent a bunch of waitresses and waiters, and they're spraying something, discreetly spraying something, because it's supposed to enhance all your senses.
Uh-huh.
And so you just see them walking by. You don't really see what they're doing, but what they're doing is that they're spraying a scent, which is really delicious. So before you even get the dessert, you already smelled it.
Like the room already smells.
Oh, God, it was so good.
And they say like this dessert is going to this will be all of your senses.
Mm-hmm.
So
they were not lying.
Yeah, like before you even get the dessert, you're like smelling the like herbal air essence, and then the dessert looks beautiful or whatever.
It's beautiful.
And then you taste it.
Oh, and hold on. They ask you to close your eyes. So I follow instructions. So I close my eyes, and I'm telling you, I don't know if the dessert was really that good.
No, it wasn't.
But I can tell you, at that, if you're asking me to recall whether it was good or not, I can tell you with all certainty it was amazing. It's the best dessert I ever had in my entire life, right? But now I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. Was it really, or was it because the experience was so amazing that all of a sudden I'm just thinking it was? But if I had it today, would I feel the same? If I didn't have all the extra, whistles and smoke and stuff like that, would I still think it's the best? I don't know.
But that's all part of it. It's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's so
one of the things is a Sal. Sorry.
Like I'm quite shocked, and I listened to your podcast that the food is what you guys are just like. I just wouldn't imagine it was that, but
neither would I.
No, neither did I. But here's the thing: he was telling everybody that I'm so picky with my food.
True.
And in his defense, I am. I don't. It's. I really like really really sweet food or really really spicy. I don't like bland. I like to taste something, right? And so normally when I go to restaurants, I take these little packets of dehydrated lemon or lime and a little tiny thing of tapatio. And so I just put it on my food. You know,
Yeah.
I can tell you this, I didn't have to do that. Not once here. That's how good it was.
What did you have as like the main course?
Well, there's
Oh, dude,
so
I
many
can't even,
little
like,
dishes.
yeah, like the way that the food comes, there are courses, but even within the courses are like selections. So like I think for the first dinner, the first course is like this very like, I don't know, like sushi type salad with, and then there's like 3 steamed buns, but each one is different. And then there's like 4 sauces and each one is different.
So imagine the combinations, the possible combinations that you can make.
That's math.
A lot. So yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the first thing I'm doing is experimenting.
The just dip it. The
Mm-hmm.
have you guys seen the new Westworld show? Like the new because I'm worried. There's like it's a big cowboys and Indians.
Look, I remember the old Westworld.
Yeah, well, it's like Galactic Starcruiser, but with robots, right?
Yeah.
And one of the main characters goes there when he's younger and just becomes obsessed and just spends the rest of his life just going, like, lives out his life in there, just trying to like work out the game and solve its mysteries. Like, I'm concerned that you guys are just going to be obsessed, and it's just you're going to be like Jack once he gets off the island in Lost, and you're just like, we have to go back. It's haunting us that
We have to go back, Kate.
We have to go back. We do have to go back because I feel that there was so much to experience, and the food, the food and the drink, dude.
The drink.
Oh, the drinks, dude. I had this drink that had sparkles on it, and it was like purple. Sabine Wren would have been proud. Telling you.
Did you have the Mustafa one? That sounded interesting.
That was my favorite.
He did.
Yeah.
I've probably heard you guys talking about it, but
Yeah,
that sounded. It had like actual Mustafa lava dust in it or something.
Yeah, like black salt or something like that, but it was really good. The one I wanted to try that we didn't like when she was explaining the Hoth ice, whatever. Like,
oh yes.
Now I want to get that one because it looks so good. But we didn't try that one. I got the Mustafa and I stuck with the Mustafa.
Yeah, they had really delicious drinks, but it was also the way that they were making the drinks and how they were explaining things. The showmanship of it.
The top card.
Yeah. The Mustafar, they made it like they had this container where they had these vials of,
That's right.
Yeah, of, what was it, lava. And so they took them out with this little, it looked like a...
Like there was a whole show to when you order the drink, like basically there's like a spicy, you can make it a spicy margarita or whatever, right? But like they give you this little vial and they're like, hey, this is the stuff. So like you can put as much of it as you want, but be careful if you put it all. But like the vials are in this little container back behind the bars. So, when they're making the drink, they make you the drink and then they're like, okay, like get there. And one of them opens the thing and all this smoke comes out and the other one has the tongs okay, careful, don't drop it. Like, and it's like a whole show element to give you the little vial and to be like, okay, be careful. This is the stuff. Really cool, really fun. That's it. I can't hear you, man. It happened again. It has been 0 days.
No,
there you go.
I was just trying to how about now? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't fix the. There's a little bit of a feedback issue. Hey, can you get your lips around a barbecue pork?
Barbecue pork's not available. Chewbacca might have had some, but he didn't offer any up.
Oh, that's a shame.
Kept it to himself.
Alrighty, buddies. We've done about an hour and a half. We've had one technical hitch, but apart from that, great time. Is there anything like if there was like that you'd suggest to change or anything that you were like, oh, it'd be cool if they did that, or were you just like in total awe?
Give me a lightsaber and let me take part in the final battle. I would have changed that.
I don't think that I would change anything, really.
Make the alcoholic drinks for free.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I support that.
Yeah.
Then I could really make my money back, I feel like.
They're just gonna have like crew members who carry people to their rooms every night.
Oh yeah, I reckon I could really
every day on the ship is a wedding gone wrong.
Did you they make any mention of Han and Leia staying on it?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll give this one away. Like where kind of the shows happen up on the top, they're like, oh, this piece, Princess Leia Organa stayed here with us after, the defeat of the Empire and blah, 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 blah. Like she went on a pilgrimage with us and we, traveling the galaxy, helping unite to organize and form the New Republic and all this stuff. And after her travels, she donated this piece, which is like a symbol of the galaxy united, and it's like the background of the thing was supposedly a piece donated by Leia Organa to symbolize the unity of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, Brent has a very great way to finish up. Thanks very much, guys, for this informative conversation. Makes me want to go more if I could save up for it. Feels like quite the experience in person. But as I was saying to Sal, Liz, I was just overjoyed that you got to go. I was so happy to see you guys got to do it. So yeah, it just makes me happy. So thanks for coming on for a sec and sharing your experience. Thanks for doing the whole slog, Sal. Would you like to do some sweet plugs of the Rogue Rebels podcast, which has like interviews this week with some chefs, Matt Martin, and a lot of onboard coverage of the Starcruiser. Sal, take it away, buddy.
Yeah. Episode 117 we released last week, and that has most of our thoughts about the Starcruiser experiences and lots of interviews with really cool people like Doug Chang, Matt Martin, some of the mixologists, chefs, merchandising people for the Starcruiser. But in general, our podcast, we do everything. So next episode is actually dropping tomorrow, and it's going to be with Araj. We're going to be talking to Fallen Star from the High Republic, one of the newest High Republic books, which is super rad. And check us out at theroguerebels.com. We are on Twitter at Rogue Rebels Fam, and we're on Instagram and TikTok at The Rogue Rebels. And you probably want to be there a lot if you want to see more pictures and videos of the Starcruiser, because they're coming, and our costumes and stuff, because we have costumes and stuff. So yeah, check us out. Subscribe.
Highly recommend the podcast. I always leave happier than I came in. Like it's always like I just know I'll be in a good mood at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? Which is it's always a good fun.
We try to have fun.
Yeah. How good's fun, huh?
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah, good time.
Not too bad. All right. Well, thanks to everyone in the chat. Sorry that if you can hear a bit of that, I know you guys probably can't, but there's this weird feedback thing. I'll sort it out. Technical. I don't know what's going on, but content, the things we do for content. Speaking of content, on the on our Patreon, we've got a new Star Wars Year by podcast up, audio and video. This is for the listener more than for you, Liz. With me and Hawes talking about the Star Wars news of 1985, and a new Page Wars with King Tom talking a bit of Book of Boba Fett and looking ahead at upcoming books and novels, including the whatever the Han Solo wedding,
The Princess and the Scoundrel,
which like that I think that's my worst part of the whole Galactic Starcruiser. That
it could have been any ship.
It's such an illogical tie-in. It's like the day after you win a war, you go on a honeymoon. Come on.
Okay, when are you going to get a break?
Not the day after. That's the whole point.
Why not?
To be fair, I think he got the honeymoon, and I think she disguised the honeymoon as a chance to go around the galaxy and start uniting the things, just like the people on the ship told us.
Yeah, very Hunger Games, right?
Guess we'll have to wait to read it to find out.
Yeah, I did tell Tom that if I hear that someone comes out of the bar and says it was so dark in there, then I will read the whole book. But
you have to play the clip so she knows.
This guy, Liz, wait there. He's my spirit guide. I love him so much.
What's wrong?
Do you know that guy?
I've seen him before on the, talking about the commercial. Yeah.
I just love his enthusiasm.
Wow.
I do.
It's the best.
He's excited for real.
Oh my gosh.
He's so happy. He's having such a good time.
That was us.
That would be me. Like, I can all agree we'll all be.
I'm just too excited.
Sorry, I just love these clips. Liz, I've got everything this dude's ever said in his life, like on this board here. So it's quite good.
I'm telling you, dude.
Yes.
Just wait like 10 years, 10 years, and then take Harrison.
In eight or 10 years, I'm taking him into space. I'm going to real space.
Right?
Okay.
I have to say,
Amazon guy.
I like my little boy just brings me nothing but joy and pride. But I did ask him the other day if he wanted to go into space, and he said no. And it was the first time I was like, no, it's very, you've disappointed me, son. You should want. But
hey, he's in the fire trucks right now, man. He don't want to go to space.
I said that's where Baby Yoda is and stuff, and it sort of turned him a little bit. But
he was like, "But Dad, Paw Patrol was here in the streets."
In the streets, Marshall, all the Rumble, all the posse. All right, well, thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to the Peraleses for lending us their enthusiasm and time. Hope to see you guys in real life soon. I might come down for a pizza soon, Sal, actually.
You got 2 days.
I don't know about in 2 days, but maybe next week I will do it. But thanks to everyone, and I should close it out by saying, may that force be with you. Oh, that noise.